1,000 megawatts of electricity you add in your system, you could almost be increasing your GDP by between 0.5% to 1%. That shows that Nigeria today can decide to move from 4,000 to 20,000, over 15,000, which is achievable in 4 years. Look at what they're going to add to their GDP. It's like education. The more you invest in human capital, for every $1 you put in human capital, you create wealth of almost $10. So imagine if you follow these two aggressively, power and human capital, what you're going to achieve. It will be phenomenal. And that's what your country used to have. That's why in 1980, when things were good in Nigeria, your per capita was 2,000 plus. Today, 40 years after, is below 2,000. Because all you've done is I wasted several years doing nothing. So be rest assured. The next question is the issue of the issue of migration within the health sector. Let me tell you, again, I said these things can be reversed. But not even worrying about reversing it. I have an idea. I said it will be reversed. Most of you will be the investors we will use to turn around Nigeria. Let me tell you what happens. Today, because of your country not being productive, what you've been doing is providing social service to your people. You become their social safety net. It shouldn't be. You should be an investor who will invest your resources at home that will be productive, give you more money, and feed those people. Not the way it's happening today, where whenever you hear a phone call, you're scared whether to take it or not, because it's all bad news. No. We want to turn that bad news into good news. Now that thing you invested is yielding money. Everything you're hearing today about China and India is what I'm telling you. It was the diaspora Indians and this and that went back using the cheap labor in their place and turned around the place. It was a win-win. They become rich people. The people in their place were fed. Everybody is happy. Not the other way around. Some of you, what is scaring you going home is not just security. Even the problems that people will come around with. So you better stay away from them. So it is important that on issue of migration, but the health workers, last year I made a very serious issue with government, and I said, by the year 2030, the world will be looking, there will be shortage of 10 to 20 million nurses and midwives globally. Nigeria as a country should invest in that. There's no reason why we should not prepare to export that to the world, because we have the population. Today, Philippines is making for diaspora funding over $50 billion. Even Egypt is getting more than us. Ours is going down because, like I said, all you do now is send money for people to eat, not to produce anything. It cannot continue like that. Your money must work for you, because you work here to earn the money. So that health workers, we will train more. Some will serve at home. Some will go outside, make more money. It's a win-win. ASU strike is unfortunate. You might not know that the global intake, the average global intake for highest tertiary education is 38%. That's the global average. In the Western world, like your country, where you are today, is over 50%. Nigeria is 9%. Not even up to a quarter of the global intake, and on strike. Today, Nigeria is funding education in our neighboring countries like Ghana and everything. It is worrisome. And government is not doing anything. For me, you said, how will I solve it? There's a combination. This is time to sit down and have a combination of government saying what they will contribute, a combination of students' loan, a combination of the university doing other consultancy and research to make money. It is important to look at the whole thing, how we are going to fund the education. But that the universities are not working on strike for 6 months, and we are campaigning, or even talking about 2023, is unbelievable. I have had ASU strike as governor. Lasted for months. But we are talking every day. I do not think where we are today is acceptable. And I assure you, issue of education, I've said it before, will be so serious that it will not happen. There's a combination of what we can do to ensure, of course, take it that basic education is free and we will fund it. For higher education, we will fund with a combination of loan, consultancy, and government projecting what they will do. And we're not going to where also universities will not be the same thing. There's issues too we need to deal with. In Nigeria, every university is the same thing. It's not like that anywhere in the world. There's categories of universities. In Canada here, I don't think every university is the same. They don't pay every professor the same fee. That's why we must fund the university. They must be independent and be able to pursue their own the way they want. It is easy, it's done everywhere, and it can work in Nigeria.
Excellency, these are the next 5 questions, after which you take a break, and we're going to proceed. This is from Dr. Carl Iyari, a chemical engineer and business executive. How will you reinvigorate the refining sector and establish world-class value-added downstream chemical infrastructure to employ 1 million Nigerians and double our GDP?
Yep.
This is from Ajuruchi Ogbonna. How do you intend to scrap the federal character system and install merit-driven nation? Use executive order, my suggestion. This is from Tunji Adelowo. What is your plan to restore the value of Naira? What is your plan to douse the agitation of the groups that want to break away. This is from Johnson. How will you reduce the cost of governance? How do you make sure that people don't turn your campaign money for personal use? And this is from Denny.
This now we're going to 6. Go on.
That will make it 5, Your Excellency.
Okay, refinery. You know, I don't know whether any of you knows who owns the refinery here in Canada. Is it government owned? Nigeria have 3 refineries. 3 refineries. Those 3 refineries, they have workers. They are paid salary. They are promoted. And as long as I know, in the past 10 years, they've never refined one. And people are happy to be working in those companies. There's nothing in refinery. There's nothing in refinery. That is what I'm talking about, your money working. We have enough talent and enough people that can invest and refine crude in Nigeria. Use the crude God gave us that is in our backyard, refine it, make it work, reduce the money Nigeria is paying in subsidy, reduce everything that is happening there. But because it is a criminal gang up, and that is the structure. That is the structure we want to stop. When you hear structure, that structure is the gang up that is holding Nigeria. That's what they're celebrating. Today, 80% of our oil is stolen. 80%. Oil is not something, it's not sweet. You go to grocery store and steal. For you to steal oil, a vessel has to come into Nigeria. It will be approved by Navy before it comes in. So it's a criminal gang up. And that is what we need to stop. Let nobody make refinery look as if it's going to the moon. It's something that is doable here and can be done overnight. Somebody, how are you going to deal with the issue of scrapping federal character? There's nothing wrong with federal character. What is wrong is making sure that you select from every side competent people. If you live in a country where people, let me tell you, in Nigeria, from my experience of being in government, people don't do what is expected. That is my experience. I don't know what that was. My experience as governor. People don't do what is expected. They do what is inspected. So I follow them, do this thing, which I've paid you. Because they will not do it if I leave them. That is federal character. So we have value of Naira. There's nothing wrong with value of Naira. It's a question of production. Simple. If you you want your currency to be high, to be worthwhile, you produce and export. It's nothing. Nigeria is a country of 200 million living on a land size of 923,000 square kilometers. 200 million people living on a land size of 923,000 square kilometers. Our total export last year was 18 trillion 900 billion, which if you use the official rate, it gives you about $47 billion. If you use my own rate, which is the official rate, because that's the one you can get, 650, it gives you about $30 billion. For a country of 200 million people. Vietnam, which I want to use the example of this one, is a country of 100 million, living on a land size of 331,000 square kilometers. Total export last year was $312 billion. So we couldn't do 10% of what Vietnam is doing. They live on 1/3 of our land, and they have half of our population. Vietnam did not export oil. We exported oil. Vietnam exported manufactured goods. One, electronics and coal, $60 billion. Clothing, $32 billion. Footwear, $20 billion. Tell me, what are we doing? These are things we can do in Amba. These are things we can do in Lagos. We have a vast land, all cultivated in the north. We are all busy sharing oil money. Your neighbor here, United States, that oil is everything. Texas is not #1 economy in America. It's not #2. It's not #3. That's where the oil is. They're #4. The #1 is California. That is #1 with a 3.3 trillion economy, 8 times Nigerian GDP. What do they do? Agriculture knowledge. We have vast land in the north, all cultivated. Your value of your currency will not work. You need to cultivate something and export. And it is very easy. That's what will change the value. Productivity. The more you produce and everything. I went to a state, Taraba State, and they were complaining. Taraba State is a lovely place where you can grow coffee, tea, and flour. Because there is on a Mambila Falls. And huge land. 54.6 thousand square kilometers of land. Kenya did the flour export last year, over $500 million. Ethiopia, coffee, 1.1 billion last year. Sierra Leone with all their problem, 1.4 billion worth of coffee, of tea. But Taraba is looking to share money for this. That is the value of your naira. We will fight it with export. And we have what it takes to export goods. What we don't have is to have leaders who will drive this process. And it is achievable. Agitation. Well, everywhere you go in Nigeria, there's agitation. The question to ask is, how come everybody wants to go away? What you're doing here is agitation. You're here because it's not working. That's why you left. That's agitation. And And that's what those people are doing. We will deal with it. We will consult everybody that is agitating. We will consult, we'll talk with the person, we will plead with them, we will beg them, and I assure you, we will make it work. We will stop it. The more you have, there's no place where agitation was more like in South America. But the more they put people out of poverty, the more people have means of livelihood, they reduce the agitation. It's the same thing with criminality. Cost of governance. I've said it before. Cost of governance in Nigeria is unacceptable and can be reversed. I don't need to tell you, but you can go and ask my record as governor of Anambra State. But and you can put it that I said it this night in Canada. No elite in Anambra State while I was governor was happy with me. Not one of them. There might be 1% or 2%, but the rest were happy. And I get that everywhere I go. Even when I go to Abuja and everything, I get confronted by ministers, by presidents, by everybody, telling you, Peter, nobody is happy with you. All throughout this night now, have I ever talked about happiness? None of you will be happy with me when I start. The only thing I can tell you is that we are going to fix the place, but I'm not promising happiness. Those who have a job of making people happy are the people in the entertainment industry. When Flavor and Co come here, you'll be happy. But me, no happiness. Because that's what I get then. People say, oh, people are not happy with you. People are not happy with you. Just like I said earlier, people ask you, Peter, you are the only governor without office of First Lady. How can you have an office for somebody that nobody voted for? Somebody who never campaigned, somebody who have no reason to be there. But I can tell you, I say it every day, I remain very, very close with my family. They're the closest people I have and everything. But not office of First Lady. We're happy that I'm doing the work. So, cutting cost of governance is very, very important. There's no place where one person uses 20 or 30 vehicles. I saw it in my state. We tried it. It was the cost that made us to stop it. Only 1 or 2 was functional car. The rest were just people. So cutting costs, be rest assured I'm going to deal with it. I even dealt with it today. When a group of people came to meet me, my friends came to meet me at the airport today. They asked me a question. You came alone. I said, well, you invited me alone. So if it's only me going to talk, what would the next person be doing? These are my brothers and sisters here. Why should I bring another one from there? So, well, thank you. Like I said before, all we want to do this night is to ask you the sacrifice you're doing. Please, do not see this as that you've wasted your time. You're helping to build a better future for the society your children will live in. We can't bequeath them anarchy. It's bad already. You don't know the pain of some people who tell you their families in Canada. I've gone to see a man and a wife who I can tell you they are in pain, their children are here. But when I got to their house, they have nobody to talk to because their children are abroad. And like I said, between us, I lived in the UK. And by God's privilege, I've been opportune to go to the best of schools. That's why when they want to introduce me, they said my CV, oh, Peter, we're going to say about your CV. Before we start talking, I said, no. Don't worry about reading yours. You can read, oh, he was in Oxford, he was in Cambridge, he was there. I said, forget all those things. Educational qualification is not a measure of integrity. Let's deal with people's integrity. I'm not saying education is not important, though, but I said it's not a measure of, because we have had thieves who were well educated. And we cannot continue that way. But why did I say that? I too have my children living abroad. And I always tell people, we are the losers. If we don't fix Nigeria, because those children will never come back. If they ever come back, go and check where you have a trained dog and a cookie. The mix-up is very dangerous. And that untrained one will always eat the worst. That's why I said, come. Let them come the way I'm speaking to you tonight. And stand here and speak to you. Let them listen to them. Their promise, so that you take note. I'm taking note of all your questions tonight. Let them come and answer questions. Let them come and tell you. Election 2023, you're waiting for the next 5. Go on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency will take a break.
No, go on.
We should go on. You know, thank you. I know my colleagues have told me not to make some remarks, but I have to make a remark at this time. When you have a gallant, strong, energetic leader, you will have a gallant, strong, energetic country. Please, can we put our hands together for Mr. Obike? All right. No. All right. Our next question.
Go on.
Monitoring leadership. And please, I want to plead with all of us. Can this movement stop, please? Please, can we stop the movement? Monitoring leadership. As a good leader, how can you groom and mentor young generation to have the same political and economic leadership mindset like you? And this is from Nyere.
Next one.
This is from Jane Eke. What is the campaign strategy of Labour Party towards voters? I'm sorry, Your Excellency, I may not take that. From AK Ekwaobi, When made the president of Nigeria, will you restructure the security architecture of Nigeria? From Riagu, about restructuring our 1999 Constitution. What plans do you have to fix it? What plans do you have to ensure institutions like the judiciary are independent? This is from Priye Obazua. What is the plan to expand material and child care across Nigeria? Maternal and child care across Nigeria. This is from Oshoke Obozua. What is the plan for the campaign to expand to the illiterate population grassroots? Those are your 5 questions, Your Excellency.
Well, most of them, I won't say, we don't have 5 questions there. We have maybe about 2 because I've answered most of them. Issue of, let me start with the issue of campaign. The campaign is you. You are sending money to people. Start with yourself by telling those people you are sending money to eat that they now have to feed themselves. And the way to feed themselves is to have the right leader so they can start being productive. Because you cannot continue to create a welfare society that is unproductive. Let nobody come to you and say, hey, in my own place, I do it today. I go to the village and a young man comes to me and say, hey, well, I won't give you anything because you're not doing anything. You're related to me, forget it. Nobody have given me money by relation. And I didn't make money by relation, and I won't give it to you because you're related to me. Because that's not what it's meant for. So you can help in the campaign by letting those you're supporting to know they have to do the right thing. On issue of maternal care and everything, it's one of those places where we have a problem. Because people don't know what we're going through. Nigeria was supposed to, that is the thinking of the UN when they were looking at it, that Nigeria was going to overtake India in maternal problem by the year 2025. Today, we've overtaken India in 2021. 4 years ahead of schedule. India is 1.4 billion, and we are 200 million. So we are 1/7 of India, yet our maternal death is sad than that of India. Very sad. So dealing with those things are not anything. That's why I said we must focus on the proper development indices. We will deal with it aggressively. Issue of healthcare, education, and pulling people out of poverty. All those things will follow religiously. And I assure you, you will see it happen. I've done it in a state where, when I started, there was no single accredited school of nursing or midwifery or health technology. And within 8 years, we built 10. And they are there. You can go and. So anybody who says, I did this, tell him to tell us where he is, which school did he go to, what is his age, what is this, so we can verify all those things. issue of judiciary. Issue of judiciary is very simple. If the leader is not corrupt, I keep saying it, everybody will go within the line. Nobody in Nigeria has benefited politically in the judiciary more than me. I won an election, somebody else was pronounced. I stayed in court for 3 years. Everybody thought it was impossible. And I won the case. And you're right. I didn't give them anything. I sent it in the NBA. I didn't give them any money. They were even being housed by the governor, and I insist. I was impeached. You asked why I was impeached. No, it's good, sir. You asked the question. I was impeached for 3 reasons. When I became governor, the office of the governor was consuming about 30 to 35% of our budget. Education wasn't even getting 10%. So I decided it was wrong that the office of the governor would not get more than 5%. That was the reason of stopping even office of First Lady and everything. We had 3 projects. The first project is that when I became governor, we had an issue with the office of the governor, his office. There was something that happened with my predecessor, and he was burnt. So was the lodge where the... So by the time I became governor, they have actually budgeted and awarded contracts for these projects. But because we have no money, I decided we will no longer. But people who were supposed to benefit from it was mad. Number 8 million naira. I did everything with 43. It was very good. I bought everything new. I always said the only thing I didn't buy new was table. The table I used to write, because the governor before my predecessor had a table he used, which they packed somewhere. And when I saw it, I told them, table is just to write. We don't need to buy a new one. They just polish it and bring it. And I used it for 8 years. It didn't spoil. It was stable. Nothing happened to it. So they were not happy. Number two item was the issue of my lodge where I lived. They had a budget to refurbish the office for 486 million naira. It was a lot of work. But we did everything, including the furnishing, with 81 million naira. Because they had to buy, Nigerians and their confusion at times. They had to buy a designer bed, this, that, all sorts of things, which they were to import. But I said, no. There must be somebody that can do bed in Oka. Bed is bed. It doesn't matter. There's something I tell people about sleeping. If you have a reason to be awake, no matter the type of bed they give you, you will be awake. If you have to sleep, you can sleep here. So I said, we do not have to import bed. There must be somebody in Oka that can do bed. The man who did the bed in Oka, Udaja, go today, is employing over 120 persons. I told him, I said, Oga, come and do bed here. The one leather seat. Is it not seat covered by leather? Find leather and cover all these things. And let's move on. And that was it. So that became a problem. We were building presidential lodge in Oka. Every state in Nigeria has presidential lodge. The president doesn't live in Oka. So why are we going to build a house for him? And I canceled it. I stopped it. If you go there, it's still like that the way I stopped it. So these are the problems I had. That these are the items that made me. So we insisted. You see every reason why this our project must not fail. You could see the pain and the sacrifice of people like this. For him alone, it will be an abomination for anybody to fail the country. So like I was saying, the third thing was the issue of we were building we are building the presidential lodge. And I stopped it and said the president doesn't live in Oka. I will never live in Oka. And you've heard my story with Basanjo. Because eventually that year, after about, just before I was impeached, Basanjo said he's going to come to Oka. And I went to him, I went to his office, and I said to them, the president doesn't need to sleep in Oka. He's the president of Nigeria. He can come in the morning and go in the evening. But the president said he was going to come to Oka for 3 days. And that was very simple. I went to his chief of staff, told his people, since the president have insisted he's going to come to Oka for 3 days, I have a lodge. I've just finished. That's where I live. You come and inspect it. If it's good, I'll vacate the place for 1 month. When he goes, I'll come back. And they were very nice to me. They were very nice to me. They said yes. So they came and inspected it and said it's very okay. Of course, turned to my wife and said, sorry, you know, women, only my wife have property in the house. I don't have. I said, so you pack your thing because somebody is coming to stay here. After we'll come back. That lodge was supposed to cost us about 600 to 700 million, and I'm sure by now it wouldn't have been completed. But it cost me 105,000 in hotel for the 5 days I stayed in that hotel. So I paid. That was another reason. The final one was I was saving. Under the Constitution of Nigeria, you're not allowed to save money. You will be shocked, yes. So I started saving. I said, we can't finish everything. We must save. So that was why I was impeached. But again, that impeachment was God sent. Because without that impeachment, I wouldn't have been governor of Anambra State for 8 years. Because that case, when the judges in the Supreme Court and everywhere saw it, after that case, when I went for tenor interpretation between me and Andy Uba, it was the fastest case ever decided. Because I believe I was right. But you know, I didn't have to give anybody anything. So, that's it. So, it is same thing where I was impeached. So, all that I'm talking about, issue of judiciary. Judiciary is not as bad as people think. We don't have a bad judiciary. We have sophisticated, intelligent people in judiciary. All we need is to encourage them. When I was governor, our magistrates don't have car. How can you ask somebody who is giving judgment that can even condemn somebody to death not to have a car? Some of them are owed their salary. You can't do that. So you have to pay them. You have to do the right things. And these things are happening when the leaders are busy dancing and drinking and wasting everybody's time. So judiciary is not our problem. Issue of security, I've said it, we don't have any problem with security. Grooming mentors. Grooming the ones that will follow you or being mentoring the other ones. Let me assure you, there's nothing there. If you do the right things, people will learn. I'm only here speaking to you because I know you can contribute in this change. Otherwise, I won't come here. But I know that these people here can change Nigeria. Societies are not changed. Societies are not changed by millions of the people. Because millions of people are changed by a tiny group of people. And that is why I'm looking for diasporans. No other candidate is doing what I'm doing. Because I know that that place, the change won't come from there. Change always comes from external. Because they can see the rot in and they fix it. So it is people here that I need to work with me to bring change. And they can hold somebody responsible. They can stop. When you are talking about good governance, cutting cost of governance, you are the people that can make it happen. Because you can tell anybody who is the leader in Nigeria, you're wrong. He's not paying your bill. You don't need to see me here. I'm not giving any of you money. So, you can tell me anything you want to tell me. And that's what I'm encouraging our people to do. Rather than what I recall when I was governor, when I was this thing, I went to America. And our people were busy showing me where people bought houses. I said, you can't do that. With whose money are we going to use to buy that house? I don't live in Canada. I don't intend to leave. I made up my mind when I left the UK that I'm going to Nigeria to go and die. That's where I want to. I'm not talking about my children. I told them, make up your mind where you want to live. But we will go and change that place. And I'm committed to it. So for me, anybody who thinks, oh, there's a magic I can do and I'll come here and buy a house. No. Let Canadians, and those of you who live here, buy a house here. Because it's good that you live well here. Those of us from Nigeria, don't encourage them to come here. Once he's a government person, if he didn't buy it before he gets into government, don't allow him to buy it. If he comes there to buy it, call police. That's how we will encourage and stop corruption. So that's the final one. We will groom them by doing the right thing.
Your Excellency, thank you very much. We have more questions. You want me to go on?
Yeah, let's do the final one.
So we're going to be doing the final 5 questions, Your Excellency. All right, and this is from Esiogene Kenneth Akbosi. And the question is, when you become president of our great nation, Nigeria, when you become president of our great nation, Nigeria, Could you please lower your hand?
Yeah, go on. After you.
When you become president of our great nation, Nigeria, are you open to confederation?
That's the restructuring.
This is from Clement Wegbe. What guarantees will the diasporans have that if they bring their investment and business to Nigeria, they will operate in a secure and safe environment?
Go on.
As governor of Anambra, you ruled a mono-ethnic state. How can you rule a multi-ethnic country like Nigeria and involve all ethnic nationality? This is from Bonksi from Taraba State. Then this is from the streaming from the YouTube. Why have you not appointed a spokesman or a spokeswoman? And this is from Robert Tofa. And another one from YouTube says, if you become the president, how are you going to build a lot of hospitals in Abuja and Lagos? Are you also going to fight for free health care in Nigeria as well? And this is from Nike. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, that's 5 now, the final 5. After that, let him ask his question. Healthcare, hospitals. Are hospitals in Canada free? Huh? You don't pay insurance? Thank you. One minute. Okay, let me help you. Health is important everywhere. We will fund health because health is wealth. We will fund it with a combination of ensuring that people are productive, paying taxes, which we will use to fund health, and also a combination of health insurance. That's what happens everywhere. But it's not government that is owing everything. It is a combination of government and private. And that is where you come in. Let me give you an example. Showing you one that worked. I was in Atlanta, and I read about a Nigerian doctor that is doing heart surgery. He's one of those best Nigerian doctors the doctors that are doing heart surgery while the heart is pumping or something like that. And when I read, I didn't know who the person was. But I read about him, and I called him, and I said, who are you? He told me where he came from. He happened to have come from Anambra State. And I said, Dr. John Willow, can I ask for a favor? If I go to your village and build a health center, can you come there and be doing surgery that you're doing in America? He told me, if you can build it, I'll do it for free. I'll be coming twice a year. And I asked him, can you do the design of the hospital? And he did everything and told me it's going to cost about 250, 300 million naira then. And I wrote the check and gave it to a hospital in their village owned by the church. I said, this is the check. We must build a health center here where this man promised He'll bring the equipment and it's coming there. Go and ask everybody now about the Willow Heart Center in St. Joseph Hospital in Adderley. It's unbelievable. You sure you know about it? So, you can do it. We'll deal with the issue of health, I can assure you. On issue of spokesperson, Labour Party have a spokesperson. Peter Obi campaign has spokesperson. For now, we want to hear the candidate. We don't want to hear the spokesperson. We are not voting for the spokesperson. We want to hear the man we are going to vote. Let him come here and answer questions. It is this process that has been confusing us. So when the man goes into office, I've traveled to several countries, finding out what is going to happen. You know why? Nigeria is the only place you vote somebody. He'll start telling you what you saw when you got in there. What were you seeing when you were campaigning? So this is the time to see everything. So when you go, you start to walk. Now when you go there, that's what they are telling us now. What we saw when we get there. We didn't hire. If the company was good, would you hire a new managing director? You are hired because it wasn't going well. And you now came and started telling us about what you saw. When you go for interview, you are supposed to know what the problem is. I know the problem of Nigeria. I was telling somebody today in the plane. He said, let me tell you, where are you going to get the revenue? He said, Peter, when I told him I said, first 3 months, from January 1 to April 30th this year, the federal government of Nigeria revenue is 1,630 billion. Their expenditure is 4,720 billion. A deficit of 3.1 trillion. He said to me, he asked me, Peter, how are you going to cope? I said, I know all this. That's what I'm going to solve. You stop the bleeding. That's why you stop the stealing. I know all this. There's nothing we can do. He said, so what is going to do? I said, we will cut cost of governance. We will borrow money. But the first law that we're going to have when I start is that all borrowed money is for investment, not for consumption. If you want consumption, you produce it. Just like I said, soon, the aspirants will send money for investment, not for consumption. You know, they are not funeral directors. So, they cannot continue to send money for burial and ceremony. It must be for investment. So that I can start yielding money. We are not against you supporting your people. You must do it. But they too have to produce something. To help what you are doing here is a win-win for everybody. I think that's issue of multi-ethnic society. You live in Canada. Canada is the multi-ethnic. Why is it working? It's working because of good governance. And everybody knows that here, people's talent and hard work match up their opportunity. Once you create a level playing field, issue of anything goes. Because if you work hard and you're too intelligent and everything, you make money. all those people we are calling in America, the problem in Nigeria is that you see somebody without a daytime job, no office, no nothing, living like a star. When those who are working hard cannot eat. That's what we want to reverse. We will change it. All these things will kill multi-ethnic society. We'll take his own as last one, and we stop.
Okay. Bring the gentleman up here. Bring him up here. And that would be the last question for the night. And we'll move to the next. Keep your questions precise.
Good evening, Mr. Obi. Mine is not a question, it's a request. I flew in, I don't live in Toronto just like you, I flew in because of this event. I'm asking for 20 minutes of your time to show you something that I think is very important to your campaign. It's not for public consumption. So it's just a request. Me, you, 20 minutes.
We'll do that.
Thank you, sir.
What I'm going to do is, I'll take your details and work out either now or future. Hello? No, we have finished with session.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Let me once again. Is that a question? That is a question.
I submitted it.
Submitted it. And they didn't
I
ask.
can tell you the question. The question is, Nigerians tend to have a lot of contentious issues that are divisive. Something like regionalism, East, West, North. Before independence, East, West, North had in Northern England a general. The person representing Eastern Nigeria, the name then was MT Mbo. Now, will you use referendum to solve any division?
Okay. Well, it's important that we respect elders. When an elderly person, in my place, elders are very important that we respect them. So, my elder brother, the question you asked is whether we will use referendum to solve every issue that is divisive. My position is very simple. Every division, every agitation, everything is in the mind. I will sit down with the person. Let me tell you, there's agitation everywhere in the world. Even in your house. In my house, there's agitation. It's not always peaceful. I told people in Germany 2 days ago, I told them, I said, everything I'm seeing outside, I see it in my house. It is my position that if you're a leader, you should be humble enough to call, to talk with everybody and all that and all that. Today, I can't quarrel with my wife. I tell them, anybody who says, I tell you, I will be the loser. She won't lose anything. No. They will say it's Peter who sent out his wife. They won't even believe that she won. Who won? So if he says, I say, I beg. Let's just remain one. Because I need it. Same thing with the leadership.
Because everybody will want to ask questions.
I have children, grown up, graduates, 30, 29, and I tell them, you see me here, you see me and your mom celebrate 10 years, 15 years, 20 years 30 of happy married life. It's not true. We are celebrating surviving quarrels. So you should know. So you should know it's not part of it. So you should know. Yeah, no. So it's important. So I'll make sure I'll make sure that we'll solve everything. Sir. So I'll make sure we'll solve everything. Part of being a leader is your ability to solve quarrels. Make sure it does not escalate. Now when somebody says we are going, you go and tell the person you cannot. We have been too autocratic. We should be consultative, negotiative. That's what makes a society. I came here now to plead for your support. The other people I'm contesting with have too much money. They want to buy the votes. I don't have. I'm appealing to you. I need your support in any way you can in order to meet them. We must learn that because that's how it is done everywhere. My neighbor people, as we conclude, please, let me plead what I said before. You have no other country, even when you're here as a citizen, even when you're here with your resident permit and everything, you have no other country you can identify yourself with, you can tell your children about, except that Nigeria. Next year's election, do not vote for Peter Obi because he's an Igbo man or he's from the southeast. Don't vote for him because you go to the same church with him. Do not vote for him because it is turn. Do not vote for him. Do not vote for him because of connection. So next year's election is not about your tribe. It's not about your tribe. It should not be about your religion. It should not be about entitlement. It should not be about connection or any other form of bias. Next year's election is about character, competence, capacity, and commitment to do the right thing. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.